Thank you. Please be seated. Yes, please. Thank you, everyone. I'll now ask my chaplain, Reverend Tanya Mangati, to say prayers.
Good evening, everyone. I invite you all to enter into stillness. You may wish to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Let's each take a moment to arrive right here, just as we are. And just notice the quiet rhythm of your breath. And bring your attention to that place within you that is most steady and most clear. And from this place of stillness, let us remember we are not isolated beings. We belong to one another. We are connected to each other, to this land, to those who came before us, and those who will follow. Every tradition speaks of this truth. In Christianity, we are called to love our neighbour as ourselves, because there is no true boundary between us. We are called to be the body of Christ, many parts and one body. In Judaism, we are taught that the world is filled with divine sparks, and that to help another is to lift a spark of the holy, that the breath of God flows through every living soul. In Islam, we're reminded that to hurt one life is to hurt all of humanity. Hinduism speaks of the divine that dwells in all beings, and that separation is ultimately an illusion. We bow to the same sacred light in each other. In Buddhism, the concept of interbeing teaches us that to be is to be with. Nothing exists in isolation. Every being, every moment is part of a greater whole. And in nature, this truth is lived out. The air we breathe was once breath of trees. The food we eat is the gift of soil, sun, and the hands of many. Our lives are deeply interconnected, seen and unseen, near and far. And here's a prayer from Rabbi Rami Shapiro. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of pain. We are supported by the strength of others, and our lives are deeply woven together. In light and in shadow, we are never alone. This is the sacred bond between us. This is the work of love. May that love guide our choices this evening and always, knowing that the decisions made here ripple outward into homes, schools, neighbourhoods, and future generations. May we act with care, knowing that we are, all of us, bound together. Let us bless those who work for this council. May they do so with wisdom, courage, and humility. May the work of this council be rooted in compassion and shared responsibility. May the bonds between us, seen and unseen, continue to hold. And may we each remember we are not separate. We rise and fall together. Amen.
Thank you, Tanya. If I could just remind everybody, the meeting is being recorded and will be available for repeated viewing. We are not expecting a fire alarm this evening. If the fire alarm should sound, if everyone could follow the instructions to vacate and assemble at the assembly point outside of the leisure centre. So, agenda item 1, apologies for absence. Sonia, do we have apologies?
Madam Mayor, we have apologies from Councillor Fuller, Councillor Tom Gibson and Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Ms Law. Agenda item 2, members, are there any declarations of interest? No. Agenda item 3 is the Mayor's announcements. So, it has been a busy and joyful time at the end of my time in office, and I'd like to take a moment just to share some of the wonderful events I've attended recently. We had a fantastic turnout at the Cavs community event at the Knightswick Centre on Canvey, an inspiring celebration of local volunteering and support organisations. And it was a real pleasure to join the Carers' Choice for a Mothering Sunday afternoon tea, which was a heartwarming afternoon honouring the carers that do incredible work. One of the standout moments has been the grand reopening of the Paddocks Community Centre on Canvey Island, returning a valuable and vibrant space to our community. Our Mayor's Business Awards and Charity Ball was a true highlight. That happened last month, and it was a memorable evening, celebrating and the generosity that happened there, raising money for a wonderful charity, the Indie Rose Trust, while recognising and honouring the businesses and community champions who contribute so much to our borough. I also had the pleasure of opening the new Range store at Rayleigh Weir and celebrating Doris Punt's remarkable 105th birthday. I also attended the MenCap charity morning, organised by the wonderful and enthusiastic Robbie, who has invited me to so many of his MenCap events over the past 2 years. We also commemorated, of course, VE Day with a number of moving events, including our own civic service at the Paddocks and many celebrations across the borough, honouring the courage and the sacrifice of that generation. And I had a very special moment attending the beautiful concert hosted by the Canvey Community Choir at St Nicholas's Church on Canvey, commemorating the late chairman George Watley. George made an incredible contribution to civic life, supporting the Mayor's Christmas Carol concerts and raising funds for the Mayor's charity for the past 3 years. There have been so many engagements in recent weeks, and although it's been very busy, it's been a great honour, and I'm truly grateful to everyone who's invited me to share in their events and celebrations. So we will move on to agenda item 4 for this evening. The next item of business is to elect the Mayor for 2025-26. Do I have any nominations? Councillor Blackwell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have great pleasure in moving that Councillor Barry Campagna be elected Mayor for Castle Point for the year 25-26. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And is there a seconder? Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to second that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Are there any other nominations? Members, is this agreed? Agreed. I therefore declare that Councillor Barry Campagna is elected Mayor of Castle Point.
Right. I, Barry Campagna, declare that I take the office of Mayor of Castle Point Council upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. Yeah.
Okay. We will now retire for a few minutes to allow our new mayor to assume the chain of office.
Please be upstanding for the worshipful the Mayor of Castle Point, Councillor Barry as you leave the chamber.
I am honoured to accept the appointment of Mayor of Castle Point. I am looking forward to visiting many communities, organisations, businesses around the borough. I am delighted to have the opportunity to represent Castle Point at the Civic Head at events outside of the borough. I will confirm details of my charities for this year at a later date. I am delighted to announce that Reverend Marion Walford has agreed to act as my chaplain during 2025 to 26. I would like to thank my family for joining me this evening and would like to thank them in advance for their support during the coming year, which I'm very much looking forward to. Finally, I would like to thank Councillor Blackwell and Councillor Gibson for nominating me for Mayor. It is a huge privilege. Councillor Gibson, can I please invite you to say a few words about our retiring Mayor, Councillor McCarthy Calvert, sorry. Forgot about her already.
History.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I suppose I should say a couple of words about our retiring Mayor, Lindsay. I think we all agree in the chamber what a fantastic Mayor over the past 2 years Lindsay has been. I mean, 2 years, that alone is an achievement. It's also an acknowledgement of her hard work and dedication in her first year as Mayor. Lindsay has worked tirelessly supporting functions within the borough, the local clubs and community projects, raising thousands of pounds for charities and good causes. She has also been a great ambassador representing Castle Point outside of the borough, attending many events. Lindsay has also played an integral role in setting up the Castle Point Youth Council, which I'm looking forward to seeing further this evening. But on a more personal note, I am enormously proud of the fact that Lindsay was the first independent female mayor in history of Castle Point. I would also like to thank Lindsay's family, who have supported her through her time as mayor, especially Oscar, who has been Mace Bearer. He was also Mace Bearer tonight. But by no means last, a special thank you to Mini, Madam Mayor, Erin. Where is Erin? Is she standing over there? Erin's standing over there. So, yeah, I think we'd all like to say thank you, and what a fantastic 2 years it's been. And I wish Barry all the luck in his year as mayor. Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, that's enough. That's enough. Don't overdo it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a great privilege to say a few words about our outgoing Mayor, Lindsay. To actually become Mayor of any borough, including Castle Point, is probably the best honour can be bestowed on anybody, any councillor in the borough. The job of a mayor is the most important job of any councillor can have. It's not all about posh clothes and posh food. It's about connecting to our residents. And the one thing Lindsay has done, she's been out there over the last 2 years, having hundreds of events, meeting hundreds of people. And I have come across so many people which have said to me what a wonderful lady we've got as a mayor. And some dear old lady stopped me in the high street. He says, I've just had your mayor come to our do. I said, oh, that's nice. She said, what a wonderful lady she is. She's one of us, isn't she? I said, well, yeah, she's definitely one of us. And I think that's the nicest thing anyone can say about a councillor and a mayor. You know what? I've been here now 30 years this month. And thank you. It's all right, it's all right. Don't take it away from the mayor. I've been here 30 years this month, and I've seen so many mayors over the years. And we've had some absolutely excellent mayors. Lindsay, you're amongst them with the best. And she's been a credit to this council, and I'm pleased to actually have time to say thank you, and the residents thank you for all your hard work. Thank you very much.
It gives me great pleasure to present Councillor Lindy McCarthy Calvert with her past mayor's badge. Stand up. Thank
you very much.
All right.
First time I've had to stand up. Mr. Mayor, councillors, officers, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me allow me to extend my warmest congratulations to you, Mr. Mayor, on your election. I wish you and the Mayoress a successful, fulfilling and enjoyable year ahead in your civic roles. It's a strange thing standing here at the end of something so full. Can I get some water? I might take some pauses through this. Thank you. Being re-elected for a second year was an honour I never took for granted. And serving as your mayor, again, has been one of the most humbling, joyful and at times challenging experiences of my life. To be welcomed into community spaces, schools, places of worship, voluntary organisations, celebrations and commemorations, it's been a privilege to meet so many of the people who make this borough not just function but thrive. Our civic office has worked hard to build and strengthen those connections, to be visible, accessible and meaningful. We've shown up not just for ceremonies and photos, but to stand with people in their moments of pride, celebration, courage and transformation. This role is more than a chain and a chair. It's a responsibility to listen, to carry the stories of this borough and reflect them back with dignity. And I have tried with all my heart to do that. One of the true highlights of the past year was last month's Mayor's Charity Ball and Awards Evening, a night that brought together everything this role is about, raising money for the Indy Rose Trust while celebrating and honouring our local businesses, organisations and individuals for their incredible work in the community. It was joyful, moving and a perfect reflection of the spirit of this borough. That evening reminded me how much good is happening every day, quietly, persistently, and often without recognition. I'm proud that we were able to shine a light on that goodness and give it the platform that it deserves. To our officers and staff who support the civic function so diligently, thank you. Your work behind the scenes makes everything possible and your professionalism does not go unnoticed. To my fellow councillors, thank you for your collaboration, your challenge and your care. I truly believe we are united by a shared desire to serve the people of this borough with integrity. And to our residents, thank you for the warmth and trust. For every conversation, every moment of connection, thank you. You've shown me time and time again the strength and generosity of our community. I also want to give my heartfelt thanks to my family and friends who have been endlessly patient and understanding of my absence during these past 2 years. To my children, Oscar, who has stood proudly by my side as my mace bearer, and Erin, who has accompanied me on so many civic duties, always with grace and maturity, well beyond her years. Thank you. And to Max and Sam, who prefer to stay out of the public eye, know that I see you, I love you, and I hope I've shown you that with hard work and integrity, anything is possible. More than anything, I hope that will be my legacy. I also want to thank my chaplain, Reverend Tanya. Her spiritual guidance and as an interfaith minister has brought profound meaning to council meetings and our civic services. Her words have helped bring people together across all faiths and none with wisdom, compassion and inclusion. Castle Point Borough is remarkable, not because it's perfect, but because its people are resilient, resourceful and full of heart. From youth workers to care home staff, from charity volunteers to local business owners, from grassroots activists to our neighbours, quietly doing the right thing. You are the beating heart of this place. And now, as I hand over the chain, I do so with a heart full of pride. I will always carry this time with me, not as a title, but as a chapter that shaped me. Thank you all of you, for the trust you placed in me. It's been an honour.
Item 5 on the agenda, election of the Deputy Mayor for 2025 to 2026. The next item of business is to elect the Deputy Mayor for 2025-26. Do you have any nominations, please? Councillor Warren Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was an honour. It gives me a great pleasure to move that Councillor Kate Knott be elected Deputy Mayor the year 2026.
Is there a seconder?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have great pleasure in seconding the motion. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Is this agreed, members?
Agreed.
I therefore declare that Councillor Kate Knott is elected Deputy Mayor of Castle Point. It gives me great pleasure to hand the Deputy Mayor... Oh, sorry.
I, Kate Knott, declare that I take the office of the Deputy Mayor of Castle Point Borough Council upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
It gives me great pleasure to hand the Deputy Mayor's badge to you. I'm very much looking forward to working with you during the year ahead. Put it on. Councillor Knott, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on becoming Mayor. looking forward to working with you and being of a great support to you this year. And I also like to say thank you to my proposers and my seconders and to all of our fellow councillors. We're a great team and I'm looking forward to working with all of you as well. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to John, because John's just been great support to me. His love, support, commitment to me is just brilliant. And I wouldn't be here doing this without him, so thank you.
Agenda item 6, notice of group membership. Agenda item 6, out details of the membership of political groups on the council. Is that noted, members? Item 7, appointment of cabinet and committees 2025 to 2026. Members, the next item of business relates to the appointment of the cabinet and committees for 2025 and 26. Members, there are 3 addendums to the report have been published on the council website. Am I reading these? Addendum 1 sets out the leadership appointment to the cabinet. Addendum 2 sets out the nominations for members and substitute members of the committees for 2025-26. And Addendum 3 sets out the details of nominations for the chairs of committees and vice chairmen of development management committees. Angela, the councillor, assistant director, legal and democratic services, and the council monitoring officer will introduce the report.
Mr Mayor, members, this report sets out the proposal for the discharge of business for the new municipal year. There are 4 recommendations set out in paragraph 3.1. I refer you to Addendum 1, and it is proposed that the appointees to the Cabinet, including the Deputy Leader and associated portfolio holders, be noted. That the committees be constituted as set out in Appendix 1 of this report. That members and substitute members be appointed to serve on the committees as set out in Addendum 2. And finally, the chairman and vice chairman of the committees be appointed for this municipal year as set out in Addendum 3. Thank you.
Councillor Blackwell, as leader of the council, will you move the recommendations?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I will move the recommendation. Thank you.
Councillor Gibson, as deputy leader, will you second the motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I will second the motion.
Members, can I have a show of hands for those in favour of the motion? Thank you, members. That is agreed. Agenda item 8, appointment of representatives to outside bodies 2025 to 26. Members, the next item relates to the appointment of representatives to outside bodies and external partnerships from 2025 to 26. Members, of an addendum setting out details of the nomination has been published on the council website. Angela Law, the council's assistant director, legal and democratic services, and the councillor's monitoring officer will introduce the report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Members, each year outside bodies ask the council to appoint representatives to their organisations. The list of outside bodies is found in the addendum. It is proposed that the appointment of the councillors to the outside bodies for the 2025-26 municipal year be on the basis as set out in the Appendix 1 as per the names in the addendum. That the attendance of the leader of the council or his nominee and portfolio holder as the council's representative at a number of external partnerships as set out in Appendix 1 be noted. Thank you.
Councillor Blackwell, as leader of the council, will you move the recommendation?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move the recommendation.
Councillor Gibson, as Deputy Leader, will you second the motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll second the motion.
Members, can I have a show of hands for those in favour of the motion? Thank you, Member. That is agreed. Agenda item 9, appointment to independent persons. Members, the next item relates to appointments of independent persons. Angela Law, the Councillor, Assistant Director Legal and Democratic Services, and the Councillor's Monitor Officer will introduce the report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Members, the report seeks the approval of Council for the designation of the independent persons to the Standards Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Committee and Audit and Governance Committee. The appointment of new independent members promotes good governance and strengthens the Council's commitment to transparency and accountability, and ensure robust decision-making processes are followed. These roles were all advertised and candidates were shortlisted and selected through the Council's recruitment process with the assistance of the chairmans. There are 3 recommendations as set out in paragraph 3.1 of the report. Firstly, to designate Matt Butcher and Phil Cook as independent persons for the Standards Committee. Secondly, to designate Jenny Beaumont and Dale Phillipson as independent persons for Overview and Scrutiny. And finally, to designate Paula Mills as the independent person for Audit and Governance. Thank you.
Councillor Blackwell, as Leader of the Council, will you move the recommendation?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move the recommendation.
Councillor Gibson, as Deputy Leader, will you second the motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll second the motion.
Members, can I have a show of hands for those in favour of the motion? Thank you, members. That is agreed. Item 10, schedule of delegations. Members, the Council is required to agree the scheme of delegations for 2025 to 26. There have been no changes to the scheme, which is published on the Council website. Is that agreed, members? Agreed. Thank you. Thank you, members. That's agreed. Agenda item 11. Council members, do you approve the scheduling of council meetings on the 25th of June 2025, 23rd of July 2025, 8th of October 2025, 3rd of December 2025, 11th of February 2026 and 25th of March 2026. Is that approved, members? Agenda item 12. Castle Point Youth Council. The final item of business for this evening is for presentations to be made to the newly elected committee members of the Castle Point Youth Council. Councillor McCarthy-Calvert, I would like you to invite you to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So during my time in office as Mayor of Castle Point, I was delighted to work with the Chief Executive and officers on setting up a youth council for Castle Point. The aim was to set up a youth council for young people aged 11 to 18 who live or go to school in Castle Point, and it provides them with a platform to have a say on how and where they live is run. It will meet to discuss issues that affect or are important to the young people in Castle Point. We've already held a number of meetings with a large number of young people, and they have designed a new youth council logo that will be used in the future to promote the youth council, and they've agreed their own constitution and have agreed on 6 committee positions. And I would just like to say I am blown away by the enthusiasm and interest that's been shown. When I first touted the idea, that everyone was in agreement that it was a good thing, but we never really knew just how much interest there would be, because politics isn't something that interests everybody. It might interest us here, but we never know until we put it out. And I've just been so amazed by the range of young people that have been involved right across the age group, and staggered by the interest that's been. And it has really filled my heart with joy to watch everyone get involved. And to get to this point tonight is a real honour and a legacy that I'm really, really proud of. So the committee positions which we have, that we'll be announcing this evening, is the Youth Mayor, the Deputy Youth Mayor, the Treasurer, Secretary, a Projects Officer and a Media Officer. So we had a wonderful, was it last week, I think we met in the atrium, and we had a polling station out there, and all the young people voted, and those who had put themselves forward to stand for election to these positions. So we had real live democracy in action for everyone to understand what happens behind the scenes when there's an election here in the borough. We had a polling booth out there, everyone voted, and we had no spoiled ballots, I have to say. The young people did a lot better than some of the adults that actually vote sometimes. And it was all very civilised. So this evening we'll be presenting the Youth Council badges to everyone who was elected to the Youth Council Committee, and we'll present the new Youth Mayor with their chain of office.
Thank you, Calvert. Can you please join me at the front for the presentation?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, could I just ask if there is family members outside, will it be possible that they could come in? Oh, they're all here. Okay, thank you. I'll just see people out there.
I've got it here. Is it me? Okay. Where are we first? So, okay, first of all, can I invite Isabella Simpson to join the Mayor and myself, because Isabella has been appointed as Castle Point Youth Council's Media Officer. Are we having photos while we're here? Oh, Adam's here.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, and next can we invite Amaya Navkey to join the Mayor and myself. Amaya has been elected as Castle Point Youth Council's Projects Officer. And next, if I can invite Aria Rowley to join the Mayor and myself. Aria has been appointed as Castle Point Youth Council's Secretary. And next I'm going to invite Jenna Armitage to join the Mayor and myself. Jenna has been appointed as Castle Point Youth Council's Treasurer. Well done. Just say we have elected Ernest Shanks as our Deputy Youth Mayor, but he's not here this evening, so he'll be receiving his badge at the next meeting. So, finally, that is it. I've got everybody, haven't I? haven't missed anyone. Finally, I have. It gives me great pleasure to announce that Joanne Adebayo has been elected as Castle Point's first youth mayor. Joanne, please come and join us. Sorry. We have got chains of office. Put this on.
Thank you.
Well done.
Right,
So
okay.
if you say that, then ask the chief executive to say.
Ask that, do that. Thank you, Councillor McCarthy Carver, for leading us on to the Youth Council presentations this evening and for your work with the young people today. As Chief Executive, Mrs Ashens would like to present flowers. Then that concludes the business for this meeting. Thank you for all attending. I declare this meeting closed. I would like to invite members and their guests to go through to the Civic Suite. I shall join you shortly after having photographs taken. Thank you.
Please be outstanding for worshipful Mayor Castle Point.
Thank you.